I'm Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass, and you are watching
the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast.
Remember to like the video and subscribe.
Welcome everybody to
the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast.
I am
Eric Brandon Cutler here.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm Marcus, the grand finale.
And unfortunately, we were not chosen to fight for the realm to save society from Shang Zhao. We just weren't. Whatever his name is. I know when his name was Sal before he put the G at the end. You know, I remember him because, you know, I used to pick him.
It's always been Shang Tsung.
Eric, you can't be trusted with names, much like how Seth Rollins can't be trusted to say Cesaro anymore. Cesaro.
Yeah, you know, I agree. But I can't trust you guys with my belongings if I ever come over to your houses because I feel like you guys would just send it back to me in inappropriate mailing attire, personally.
Yeah, but we would also shit in the bag.
I do house the Boo Boo Bears.
So, gentlemen, I'm glad to be joined by you guys this week. Marcus, I'm going to turn the reins over to you because now we're going to have a bit of the show where you can't wait. It's in the title, where we are going to talk about another movie that relates to wrestling. And that is
We're
now...
going to Mortal Kombat now?
We're going to Mortal Kombat now, Marcus.
We're going to go back into wrestling? I feel like that's an awkward move.
Well, Marcus, the only reason why I have Mortal Kombat now is because you guys have already talked about AEW.
It don't matter. It's a podcast.
I understand what it is. Marcus.
For any of my opinions on the other
Marcus,
show.
Manny, you have to teach me how to do the small box for his ass. Marcus, we're talking about Mortal Kombat right now. Deal with it. Marcus, take over the reins, Marcus. Take over the reins.
Well,
When you end with Mortal Kombat.
Before we start with Mortal Kombat, the only way you can little box him is if he can see him go into a little box. The fact that we're on Skype and we can't see that stuff happen, you can't put Marcus in a little box.
So, you know, Manny, it's a part of me that might pay that $32 for 1 month so I can just throw Marcus into the little box. Just throw him into the box.
Still talk.
Yeah, I'll still talk. You're not stopping me.
I will mute you, Marcus.
Ain't no such thing as a little box on Saturday. Little box takes the weekends off, Jack. But I can't believe we're doing Mortal Kombat 2. You don't want to be in the second spot. That's why Jericho quit.
Well, Marcus, maybe, but you already told me what you thought of this movie.
Yeah, but we should put it either at the beginning or the end. You can't just put it in the middle. And then we're going to talk about AEW and NXT. Why is Mortal Kombat number 2?
Because I wanted to be number 2, Marcus. I wanted to be number 2. That's why. If you want to control the points where we put the show at, then you can do Saturday's show. And I'll be a guest.
I will. Increase the views by at least double.
Okay.
2 people.
It's not hard to do it from 10 to 20. It's not that hard. It's not.
Well, you got 20. You got 26 over a course of a week.
It's slow and steady, baby. Slow and steady.
All right, man. Start Kombat in the second spot, you know.
Yeah, Mark, but I'll let you lead because this is
putting the show together. You gotta put second spot, and when we're gonna build to Mortal Kombat, the cover of this is number 2 instead of making it number 1.
Because Marcus, we all know what the main event of the Saturday show is. The main event of the Saturday show is me hating on AEW. I can't bump that from the main event spot. I just can't.
There's the hate on there.
I just can't. But Marcus, I need you to lead the discussion of what you want to do and talk about Mortal Kombat because I know if I do it, I'm going to give spoilers off, and I'm not that kind of. I don't want to be that guy.
I'm doing spoilers.
Huh?
I'm doing spoilers. I'm not talking spoilers.
Oh,
that's why I should be saved for the end of the show.
Manny, as you see, we're at an impasse right now. Should we do it at the end of the show, or should we do it now?
I feel like because we didn't lead with it, I think we need to go at the end of the show.
Well,
because that technically becomes anything but wrestling.
All right, then, you know, at that point, then I will concede to the sensible co-host of the show. Yes, I called him sensible, and I will.
He made the same argument. I don't understand why you're doing that.
Yeah. I don't listen to Marcus, Manny.
You have a horrible way of formatting your show. I don't know.
But why
would that go number 2?
It's my show, and I can format it any way I want to because it's my prerogative. Or I wouldn't even say some people may call me a hater, but like a person who doesn't understand the product. I mean, some. There's a few. There's a few out there who may say that I could be a hater. But
Sting is a fraud.
So I literally forgot about that point. And honestly,
you sound like a kid who found out Santa Claus wasn't real. Sting is a fraud. He's like, look at science. He's a fraud.
he is. Fucking Stang. Tired of Stang.
So Marcus,
He's like the dinosaur to the back.
Mark, do you agree with Manny about his frustration with Stang and everything else going on?
Fuck you, Sting. You are a fraud.
Marcus, we can finally talk about Mortal Kombat. Hit the theme music again, Manny. Hit the theme music.
I can't do it now. Got no more energy.
Mortal Kombat!
This is why we should have did it as the number 2 match where we had the energy. But Marcus Marcus the only person with energy.
If you want to talk about energy, it should be number 1. All right. If you want to have all your max energy for Mortal Kombat, it should be number 1.
So Marcus, what would you like to discuss about Mortal Kombat?
Well, it is the movie review of Mortal Kombat, the new one that came out, that was featured in theaters and on HBO Max. I personally watching it on HBO Max. That's why I have the subscription, so I can watch these movies when they come out. But I thought Mortal Kombat started off hot. Started off with a good match of a good old-fashioned Sub-Zero with and Rey Mysterio and Scorpion in her young age with a family in a fight. And I was like, this is starting off good. And then after that, I was like, oh, we're really getting to these characters. I do not care about anything else but the fights. That's all I cared about.
No, let's be real. I think the biggest problem with the movie, and I'll be the first one to say I like the movie. I think the protagonist, Cole Young, might have been the worst protagonist in the entire movie. Like, I could care less about him. I cared about every other character outside of him.
Oh wait, we should preference. If you haven't watched this, it's gonna be spoilers. So if you carry on listening, this is your fault. I didn't.
Stop. All 5 people, stop watching right now. Stop. And if you want to skip to the end of the show to the Mortal Kombat review, go ahead, because that's what we do. We should have preferenced that at the beginning.
What we'll probably do is we'll probably cut this and then put it as a separate video as well. If you don't even get to this part when you watch this, because the show's long.
It is. It is.
But I didn't understand how that person and his entire family defeated Goro on their own. 2 people with no powers at all.
Damn, he's jumping to the back part. Well, Betty, you know that axe shot was really good.
We should have broken down some matches because this was all just a bunch of matches thrown together.
Well, so my big issue I had with the Goro fight is like, was Goro pulling punches? Like, was he not putting everything on it? Because when he threw old girl against the car, she should have been dead, right? Like, she should have been dead.
Cole Young, as you call him, allegedly. I don't honestly remember his name.
Who? Cole Young.
But
it's Cole Young, Marcus. I know.
It's Cole Young, real Cole Young. He got punched several times in the face by Goro before he got his shiny armor, before he became Aquaman. All right? Before he got that Aquaman suit, he got punched in the face. He should be dead. Goro was a monster. I don't understand. People you talking about Christian Cage shouldn't beat Will Hobbs. No, Cole Young shouldn't have beat the young upstart known as Prince Goro.
Can we just honestly talk, Marcus? Let's talk about the elephant of the room. When it comes to superpowers that they all got, when I forgot, it's the Ka or the Ku. I'm not really sure what the power was.
Kana.
It was kind of some like when your Kana is that you have armor so you can get your ass beat. That tells me I don't need you to be my hero.
No, his armor was basically the Black Panther suit, where it absorbs the hit, and then you can put that power back out.
I was like, really?
Really? I was really disappointed. I thought he was gonna get the power of Scorpion, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I got fire and everything." But no, they didn't go that route. You can't be Scorpion. They didn't even allow him to be Scorpion. Give me the mantle of Scorpion. No, you're not doing it. You got my blood, but we're gonna actually teleport from hell, real Scorpion back.
The outer realm, Marcus. The outer realm.
Well, he could have did this at any point in his life, of his dead life. He could have came back and got Scorpion ass. But he chose at this moment, 100 or thousands of years in the future.
Well, because we know that they were cheating, Marcus. They were cheating. They cheated.
Everybody was cheating. And that's my main problem about this Mortal Kombat movie. Is that there's one thing in Mortal Kombat that I know that needs to happen. And god damn it, it's a tournament with rules. I got a melee. It was more of a backstage brawl than any tournament. So they do not get the star for stipulation in this movie.
Marcus,
I got the tournament. I never got
Marcus, it was like watching AEW. We had rankings, we had brackets, but it never happened.
Yeah, it was like, oh, where the brackets at? Because we're supposed to have this tournament to determine the fate of Earth so Outworld doesn't get us. And that's the simple basics of this, and it's why people are fighting. But for Raiden to teleport people and say, this is where the tournament's going to begin, no, I need setup. I need them to go to some obscure island like they did in the first one, and I need random people to get their ass kicked.
Well, so, Marcus, this is where I disagree with you with. This is where
This
is where I disagree with you with, Marcus. I felt that they were trying to incorporate as much as the video game as they could, and so they wanted to incorporate the whole idea of having different stages, and I think that's where the teleportation of people going there. Manny, Marcus, I wish I had a mute. Marcus has talked a lot. Manny, please give us some of your insight on Mortal Kombat.
Well, I believe that baby should have died. There was no ventilation when they put her in that cabinet, so the bloodline should have ended. It shouldn't have carried on. Yeah, and I didn't really enjoy it as much. The fight scenes were cool, and then like where it was like they were at different stages, kind of cool. The funny thing about that was when Jax had those little arms, the little baby arms.
I also like that somehow, some way they made Melina black. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and she had a fat ass.
She did. She was thick. I was like, huh.
I have a question. I know she had her face was fucked up and everything, but Melina still get it?
Marcus, you know the answer to that, man. I mean, come on, man. I know, Marcus, I know cats in real life. Remember, Ryan described women as weathered, fairly weathered,
weathered,
and really weathered. That's how he described the women of Wisconsin.
Yeah,
weathered. Like she got too many miles on the track.
And Manny, when he told us this, he said it seriously. It was not even no comedic. It was just like he was like they weathered, man.
And he said he had to think about California.
He's the youngest one out of all of us, and that is how an old man would speak.
That's how you know it wasn't no good crowd, because it brings you back to your ancient ancestors of how women were. Like your ancestors come back for you and be like, yeah, those women are weathered, man. You don't want to.
What next? Women broads. That broad over there.
So Seisha brought his pixie girl out of nowhere. I forget her name. And he's like, that's a bad bitch there. That's a bad right there. Like, he nearly brought her out like that. And I was like, and you can see, like, Cabal and everybody like, whatever, man. But he died nearly the next scene. He did nothing.
That's the one fatality Kung Lao got. That was the one fatality Kung Lao got.
He put the shit out of her.
But, so once again, I would say Melina was one of my favorite characters just for multiple reasons because she was thick. But at the same time, when she was fighting Sonya Blaze, and she says, she was like, you don't have the chosen blood. And she was like, fuck you, like, bitch.
You're not worth the blood.
Can I actually say I did enjoy that story part of the movie of Sonya Blaze not being able to train because she wasn't chosen? Like, you knew she was going to end up killing Kano, but at the end of the day, I enjoyed that story. Like, you can't fight with us.
Of the limited story there was of any of these characters.
Yeah. At the risk of being canceled, Eric, a white Karen always finds her way.
Yeah, she does,
and that's
man.
what I was saying it was. She was a Karen of the group.
Marcus,
and she found her way in.
Marcus, can I continue? Can I double down on your risk of being canceled? Not only did she find her way, she led a black man to his promised land, showing that a white woman will lead you to your true potential. Because Jax had those little arms, and she was like, Major, I told you. And the next thing you know, when she was trapped underneath that rock, not dead, by the way, a rock fell on somebody with no superpowers, and she was not dead. He became superhuman.
So basically, what you're saying is this is the video game version of The Blind Side.
Pretty much. So, like, I had the experience of watching the movie with Shantae, who was really into this movie because she was not a big Mortal Kombat player. So she was like, "Oh, who's this character?" She enjoyed it a lot. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I think it's the best film of 2021. I think it surpasses Godzilla versus Kong. That's how good it was to me.
Hold on, you put that on a pin. You put that as a high-ranking movie, Godzilla versus.
Benny, I've only watched 2 movies in 2021. Those are the 2 movies I watched: Mortal Kombat and Godzilla versus Kong. And right now, Mortal Kombat is right there, and then Godzilla versus Kong is right underneath.
All right, so back to the movie. The whole point of this, it seems like they just wanted to make Scorpion and Sub-Zero the movie. And everybody else was just side characters, right? I feel like they didn't even care about the tournament. You know how much they cared about everything else? Is that they cast Lao as Shang Tsung. There has to be someone better than Lao to be Shang Tsung.
But Marcus.
From the Dark Knight series.
But Marcus.
Lao looked beat up already. Anybody could whoop Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung to me is a badass.
But Marcus, be serious about this. Think about it. They did what most people did when they played Mortal Kombat. For a good portion of playing Mortal Kombat, all you would pick was either Sub-Zero or Scorpion. And that, for me, I thought Sub-Zero might have been the coldest villain I've seen in a long time in a movie. And I really enjoyed him as the bad guy. I mean, fact that...
I used to play as Baraka.
Baraka.
Because he was an ugly motherfucker.
Baraka, really? That's who you went with?
Yeah, and he had knives.
So
that was cool. He had knives. He was knife man. He was like Wolverine, but
I'm ashamed of who I played with. I played with Kung Lao. That was my boy with his little spitty hat. Like, that was my pick.
Oh, and speaking of, Liu Kang he was a bitch in the first movie in 1999 or whenever it came out. He's even a bigger bitch in 2021.
Betty, not a bigger bitch. He was an emo bitch, man. He had fire. Oh, we've trained so hard. Like, what, Marcus?
I will warn you.
1995 Liu Kang, I think it's 95, whatever year that movie came out. 1995 Liu Kang will beat the shit out of modern day Liu Kang. He will beat the shit out of him. And,
modern day Liu Kang is a snowflake generation.
Yeah, he's soft. He's soft, crying over Kung Lao. I mean, yes, he can do his fireball at any time. And our Liu Kang, who we come up, barely had the special effect to do one fireball. But he would have whooped his ass. That Liu Kang, I would have beat Liu Kang's ass, and I'm shocked Liu Kang came in halfway through the movie. We get Liu Kang. Like, I was like, isn't he like one of the most essential characters? Nah, he's halfway in the movie, no backstory whatsoever. He's the power of the light. He's been here. Where y'all been? And what is Ratings doing? He want them to win. Why couldn't he just teleport these fools together instead of doing what Sonya Blade, who had no information, somehow got all this ancient information, and I'm going to say 20 minutes from doing it on Google search. How did she get any of this information
Marcus,
about Outworld?
Marcus,
all this? No one gave her anything.
Marcus, it's POWW. Power of white women. That's what it was, Marcus. Power of white women.
I don't know how she got that far.
But
she had no money.
But like the thing is,
how did she get anything?
Shang Tsung, Marcus, Shang Tsung, he got all the research of who had the mark. He was sending Sub-Zero to kill everybody. Like you said, how could what bad technology did Raiden have not to protect the Earth Guardians? Like, literally, Earth was going to be destroyed because Raiden wasn't doing his job. He was blind to what was going on.
Raiden brought nothing to the table. His light, he shows up like, I miss White Raiden. White Raiden in the original movie got it done. All right? He told him what needs to happen. He told him, you guys are going to fight, and he had them protect it. And then when anybody came around, he flickered his eyes a little bit. You'd be like, dang, I want nothing to do with that. I believe it was Christopher Lambert.
Manny,
if I'm correct.
You look like you're about to fall asleep, so we need to wrap this up real quick. What did
No.
Oh,
you just want to go.
Well, Marcus promised me some food, so I am kind of hungry.
So here's I got several questions more about this movie.
Oh, okay, go ahead then.
Several more. Kano, or mostly the ending. Are all these people dead, or did Shang Tsung bring them back to life?
Marcus, for the purpose,
we'll see you in part 2.
Marcus,
that's what it looked like the ending.
purposes for the sequel, they're being brought back. They're gonna be fighting again, man.
And cliffhanger. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think your cliffhanger is the thing that happened at the end.
Yeah.
When they go looking for Johnny Cage.
Yeah. Isn't he like one of the weakest?
But I feel like I would have had a better movie if it was Johnny Cage instead of Cole.
Yes.
You know, for so many times, I thought Cole was going to be Johnny Cage. And I was like, why couldn't Johnny Cage be the focal point? Like, was this just your way of trying to get the story of Scorpion into the movie? I just felt Cole Young was just such a bad main character. I didn't like that guy. It started off with him getting beat up. Like, his daughter was tougher than him.
No, the thing about the story, they took all this shit lightly with Sub-Zero coming through, freezing all the water, and Jax goes, "Hey man, this dude got some probably need to get the fuck out of here. Drive to Kentucky. Take my gun. All right, we're gonna take this cool, we're gonna chill in this cabin." And Jax with a gun think he's gonna take out somebody. Go ahead.
I realized that.
If you want to raise your hand, Eric, you gotta do that, all right?
I don't have my Skype open. But Marcus, I just want to point out something. Like, technically, I don't understand the logic of this movie, right? Jax got his arms destroyed by Sub-Zero, correct? Yet, somehow, Raiden, who couldn't find anybody else, was able to find Jax and teleport him back to the temple where they can put those little arms on him.
Once again, just in time when he didn't bleed out, or die of any frostbite or whatever the hell you can get from being too cold.
Well, Marcus, they said he didn't bleed out because he froze the arteries where the blood would go out. So
what else could happen if you just freeze arteries? I feel like science needs to come into play here. Science, damn it.
It's a movie. The science doesn't check out.
like those guys who built those little arms for him. Where did they get that?
They're the same people. They're the same.
You know what? I feel like killing Jax at that moment would give me a better fighter because Jax wasn't bringing nothing to the table.
I feel like Marcus is very passionate about this, Manny. Do you feel Marcus has a lot of passion behind this movie?
I feel like he wanted to review this movie because he was hyped for it. I could have cared less.
I thought, you know what, we could have got a good Mortal Kombat movie and they gave us this. I still want my tournament, damn it. I still want my tournament.
And I disagree with you, Marcus. I feel like I got myself a good Mortal Kombat movie.
I thought I was average.
But what do you expect from action movies? That's what I got.
But again, you don't remake a movie unless I'm going to compare you to the previous one. And as cheesy and as stupid as the original one was, it had more story, and I enjoyed the action and the characters better.
Wait, what are you talking about? Godzilla versus King Kong?
No, Mortal Kombat 1990, whatever. 90s Combat.
Is the original Mortal Kombat movie streaming anywhere?
I'm sure it is.
It's gotta be.
Because I feel like I need to revisit that.
It's cheesy, but it's more fun because they do the tournament. They fight.
Marcus, you're just really hard on this tournament.
Because it's Mortal Kombat. And then they have the area where Jack fighting? Who was he fighting on the bridge? And
some guy with a hammer.
Yeah. I think it may he fought the guy with the hammer, whoever that was. And he's supposed to uppercut him off the bridge. If you're gonna make movie references to the stages, that was the perfect stage. Jax needs to do the uppercut, Duke flies off the bridge, down to the spikes, 1,000,000 miles away, and you show me that fatality. I'm just saying.
You guys,
we only got 2 real proper fatalities in that film, didn't we?
You guys, I'm gonna let you guys know something.
Dragon that burned.
So
Kung Lao guy's fatality.
So let me tell you this. I never thought that I would use Peacock for anything else but the WWE Network. However, after I have lunch with Marcus and I come back home, I'm going to watch the original Mortal Kombat on Peacock because it is available there.
Has Shantae seen the original Mortal Kombat?
I don't know if Shantae has seen the original Mortal Kombat at all.
I'm going to tell you this one. They have 3 more black characters in this one, and all of them seem more badass than this Jax.
You just don't like Jax.
Everyone liked Melina.
I mean, the movie gets because of Melina, man. When they had that one shot when she was walking with the signs, I was like, oh, you know what you're doing, director, man. You know what you're doing.
This is called Melina, the movie.
I mean, I can't wait till they cast Katana.
She has to be black though, right?
I think so.
Melina's Katana's younger sister. They have to cast Katana as black. They have set the standard.
So Marcus, I do recall when we played Mortal Kombat, one of your favorite characters to play as is Reptile. How did you feel the use of Reptile was done in this movie?
Just as good as it was in the original. In fact, it was equal. Although I enjoyed the other one because you know what I liked in the other movie is that they had the video game sounds, like when Reptile turned to Reptile, and it made no sense why he turned to Reptile. It was just Reptile, and I was like, this is dope. It gets you hype, but he's one of my favorite characters. Great, but Scorpion was my favorite. And I liked what they did with Scorpion. I like
Sub-Zero. I really like. Although he was a killer.
They're cool. And have you ever thought it was reversed? I always did it reverse. Scorpion is 100% pure evil, like pure evil. And Sub-Zero, even though he's a cold motherfucker, has a heart of gold.
Well,
I always thought it was a face.
If you remember, I think it's in Mortal Kombat Part 2 or Part 3 when they remove the mask of Sub-Zero off. That's when they try to give him like he was a good guy or something like that. Where they try to say that he found the light, and because Scorpion is in hell. He's a devil.
He's a demon from hell. He's a lava monster, basically.
Should we be upset that we didn't get an explanation of why the guy who seemed like he was a good family man went to hell?
There's no explanation of anything. There's no explanation of anything.
Like, what deadly sin did he do to go to hell? I was curious. I was like,
I have no explanation of why Sub-Zero decided to try and kill him straight at the beginning.
Oh, because because he was working for Shang Tsung, and it was trying to kill the bloodline because of the prophecy.
Oh, it was all about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it was a prophecy.
But why did Sub-Zero change his look? I mean, I guess 1,000 years would change anybody's look. When he got the grill and the thing, he didn't want to look like he was like, my face don't look.
Let's just point out.
Be like this.
Shang Tsung is a very patient man because he enacted his plan to cheat the Outer Worlds tournament in 1617. He knew right then and there, I'm going to kill this bloodline, wait 10 years and win the tournament 10 years in a row, and then next thing you know, it's all mine. So I can slay.
Every 10 years?
Yeah, well, because like, he had won it 9 times.
No, I think you're supposed to win 10.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know I don't know what the Olympic thing.
Every 100 years or 1,000 years, something like that.
I don't know what it was, but it don't matter. At the end of the day, he was trying to cheat to win. He was playing the long game, man. The long game.
But if you're going to cheat, go all in. I mean, I'm going to send Sub-Zero to kill people one at a time 2 weeks before a tournament.
Well, Marcus, you gotta understand.
Cheat, and it seems like there's no one policing the rules. Like the gods seem to not care that people are fighting before a tournament officially happened or whatever's going on.
Mark, they explained that. They said that the other realms. Marcus, hold on. They said the other realms didn't want to interfere with the outer realm because they knew that he was too powerful. They gave a little bit of backstory right then and there. You was just too upset that you didn't get your tournament. That's all it was.
The original Shang Tsung tried to cheat, and he was gonna try it, and then he was like, "All right, you got me, Raiden. The guys wouldn't like this. This is just fair, and it's a disgrace to the tournament. I'm not gonna do it. All right, you got me." And he could fight too. Shit, I can't fight. And the soul sucking, I didn't get behind that either. I love Cabal though. He's a shit talker that I thought he'd always be, and I don't even know if that's a fact. Cabal just talks shit for no reason. You're a piece of shit. And everybody's
so anyway, so let's
no reason.
Manny, is Mortal Kombat a thumbs up or a thumbs down or just an in between rating for you?
It's thumbs down. I felt I didn't really need to see this.
Okay, Marcus, I turn to you. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Well, they get no star for story.
Here we go.
No star for situation. Poor casting, so they get a no star for atmosphere. The fights were good. I enjoyed some of the fights. And overall enjoyment, I give them this finger right here. Because they ruined Mortal Kombat for me. Thumbs down.
Well, I disagree with Manny.
I want sequel. I want a sequel.
I disagree with Marcus and Manny, and I've never seen somebody who say they want a thumbs down a movie and say fuck a movie. But you know what? I'll sign up for another one. I want to give it 2 thumbs up because it's just mindless fun, and that's what you need sometimes with a movie, and especially dealing with what we're dealing with nowadays. You just need to have mindless fun.
If Baraka was in this movie, that thumbs down may turn into a thumbs up, but he wasn't.
I think, Manny, I think Baraka was in the movie. I think he was mentioned in some of the scrolls when they were going through.
No, Eric. I don't need a teaser. I need to see him with his knives and looking all ugly as fuck.
I need to hear Native American characters.
I would cosplay and attach various knives to my face.
I need a hill. I think T-Hawk. I think T-Hawk is the
They
one.
have pictures, man. They have pictures, man.
I want those guys in it. Where was the A-Team? Don't give me the B squad in this. I want the A-Team. No one picked Kano. His laser eyes.
But he was kind of perfect for that.
No, he was perfect. Like he was right. He was a downfall. I mean,
I had no problem.
Mark, because Kano without Cabal, like Cabal was like, oh, I know Kano. We can make this work. I mean, like for me, I was upset that apparently he was getting paid 3 times whatever he asked for, but he was still bitching about that $3 million that Sonya promised him.
Here's what I don't understand. Shang Tsung has all these guys from Outworld, but why is he recruiting Earth people to fight Earth people?
Because they needed somebody to break down the barrier because Marcus, he didn't want to fight in a real tournament. He wanted to cheat. He was destined on cheating, Marcus.
Yeah, but I believe Sub-Zero is of Earth, right? I think he's an Earth dude.
No,
Marcus, you need to get him on 6 degrees of defending a championship. I'm sure he'll find a way. I'm sure he'll find better ways than I did or Eric did to not defend that title.
we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Sharpshooters Podcast.
Johnny Cage make you want to come back for more. How is that an end?
Marcus, the movie makes me want to come back. The movie makes me want to come back for more, but they need to do the right thing, Marcus. And the man has practiced in 9 movies. The Miz can carry the role of Johnny Cage. Get the WWE audience involved and make the Miz Johnny Cage. And I think that movie could be
5 of those movies were the Marine. Let's get that right.
Manny?
What was the Christmas movie with Paige?
Manny, let's just say his acting in probably all those Marines is probably better than some of the acting that we had in this movie. Come on, emo Liu Kang might have been the worst thing ever.
He didn't even do his fucking kicks.
Can we ask? Okay, you know what? I was ready to close the show, but I have a question. Why was Liu Kang roaming around the desert, just walking around the desert? Was he going on an emo walk or something? Like he ran into them.
I think Raiden told him to get it. I don't know what Raiden's plan was for Earth, but if he wanted to, like, I felt like he was trying to. Raiden was like someone trying to buy their winning team. It reminded me of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm just gonna put them together. They don't ever have to actually be together to make this team work. We just hit the switch when it comes on. That's what it seemed like Raiden was trying to do. He's watching way too much Yankees baseball.
All right, I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
I'm very disappointed Marcus the grand finale.
And if you made it this far, we really appreciate you sticking with us through this long call. Make sure you can email us at thesharpshooters@gmail.com.
Get over here.
Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Till next week, stay sharp. Peace.